Hello everyone, and welcome to Silver Care Daily, your trusted source for helpful tips to improve health and quality of life for seniors. Did you know that worldwide, over 55 million people are living with dementia? And every year, nearly 10 million new cases are diagnosed. Here in Vietnam, dementia is becoming a serious issue, affecting more than 1 million elderly people. These numbers aren't just cold statistics, they're a powerful warning about a silent disease changing the lives of millions of families. Have you noticed any unusual signs in yourself or loved ones? Forgetting small things, struggling to organize tasks, or finding it harder to communicate? These might be early signs of dementia, and if detected early, there are ways to manage and improve the condition. In today's video, we'll explore the top 10 early signs of dementia based on expert medical advice. Not only will you learn to recognize these signs, but also discover practical steps to protect brain health for yourself and your loved ones. Before we dive in, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Silver Care Daily. Every click supports us to create more quality videos filled with valuable information for the senior community. And be sure to hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. You'll be surprised how just recognizing these early signs can be a crucial step toward maintaining a healthy mind for years to come. So, are you ready? Let's get started with Silver Care Daily. Let's kick things off with one of the most common early signs of dementia, frequent forgetfulness. This isn't just about occasionally misplacing your keys, but more noticeable lapses in memory that start to interfere with daily life. One of the earliest and most common signs of dementia is frequent forgetfulness. This goes beyond occasionally misplacing your keys or forgetting a name. It means forgetting recent events, appointments, or conversations that you should remember. For example, you might find yourself asking the same question repeatedly because you can't recall the answer from just a few minutes ago. Have you noticed yourself forgetting where you placed everyday items like your glasses, wallet, or phone? Or perhaps missing appointments even though you had them scheduled? Maybe you asked the same question multiple times despite being given an answer. If this sounds familiar, it may be time to pay attention. Memory loss related to dementia happens because certain parts of the brain, like the hippocampus, which helps form new memories, become damaged. This damage makes it difficult to create or retrieve recent memories, leading to the forgetfulness seen in the early stages. It's important to understand the difference between normal forgetfulness due to aging and forgetfulness caused by dementia. While it's normal to occasionally forget names or appointments and then remember them later, dementia-related forgetfulness is persistent and often goes unnoticed by the person affected, even though those around them can see it clearly. Imagine trying to cook a familiar recipe but forgetting the steps you usually follow, or going to the store and forgetting what you intended to buy despite having a list. These kinds of memory problems can cause frustration and anxiety and may interfere with your daily life. To help manage forgetfulness, try keeping a memory journal to write down important events and appointments. Use reminders like alarms or sticky notes, and keep everyday items in the same place to reduce the chance of losing them. Staying mentally active through puzzles, reading, or learning new things can also help. If you find your memory issues getting worse or affecting your daily activities, don't hesitate to talk to a healthcare professional. Early detection and intervention can significantly improve quality of life. Tasks that once felt simple, like following a recipe or managing bills, suddenly become challenging. Another early sign of dementia is difficulty with planning or solving problems. You might notice that tasks which once felt easy, like following a recipe, managing your monthly budget, or paying bills, start to become confusing or overwhelming. Activities that require focus, organization, and step-by-step thinking may suddenly seem much harder than before. Have you ever found yourself starting a familiar task but then losing track of what to do next? Or maybe you've struggled with numbers, such as balancing a checkbook, calculating expenses, or understanding bills. These challenges can be frustrating and may signal that your brain is having trouble processing and organizing information. In dementia, changes in brain function affect areas responsible for reasoning, decision-making, and problem-solving. This means that even simple planning, like preparing a meal or organizing daily activities, may become challenging. For example, you might forget the ingredients needed for a dish you've made many times or feel unsure about how to pay multiple bills on time. It's normal to sometimes lose focus or make mistakes, especially when tired or stressed. However, when these difficulties occur frequently and start to interfere with everyday life, they could be early signs of dementia. Some people may even begin to avoid tasks they once handled confidently because they feel overwhelmed or fear making mistakes. To help manage these problems, try breaking tasks into smaller, manageable steps and write them down clearly. Using calendars, checklists, or reminder apps can help keep things organized and reduce confusion. Don't hesitate to ask family members or friends for support when needed. It's a smart way to maintain your independence. If you or a loved one notice increasing trouble with planning or solving problems, it's important to speak with a healthcare professional. Early diagnosis and support can provide helpful strategies to maintain daily function and improve quality of life. At number 8, we see difficulty doing familiar tasks. Whether it's driving to a known place or handling everyday chores, these struggles can signal early dementia. Another early sign of dementia is difficulty performing tasks that once felt easy and routine. These might include daily activities like cooking your favorite meals, using household appliances, or driving to places you visit regularly. Suddenly, these familiar tasks can seem confusing or overwhelming, as if you are doing them for the first time. Have you ever started a household chore and found yourself unsure how to proceed? Maybe you forgot the steps involved in operating a washing machine, setting the microwave, or following your usual route to the grocery store. These moments can be frustrating and sometimes even frightening, especially because these are things you've done many times before without trouble. Dementia affects the brain's ability to remember sequences and organize actions. The areas responsible for memory, coordination, and motor skills begin to deteriorate, making it challenging to complete tasks that rely on these abilities. For example, someone may forget how to prepare a simple meal or struggle with operating familiar devices such as the TV remote or telephone. It's important to recognize that occasional mistakes or forgetfulness are normal as we age. However, when you frequently find yourself unable to complete everyday activities you once handled easily, this may be an early warning sign of dementia. Such difficulties can cause feelings of embarrassment or frustration, sometimes leading people to withdraw from activities they once enjoyed. To manage these challenges, breaking down tasks into smaller, manageable steps can be very helpful. Writing instructions or checklists and placing them in visible spots around your home can serve as reminders. Taking your time and asking for assistance from family members or caregivers when needed is also important. If you notice these difficulties increasing, it's wise to consult a healthcare professional for assessment and support. Recognizing these early signs allows for timely intervention, which can help you maintain your independence and ensure safety in everyday life. Number 7 is all about disorientation with time or place. Getting lost in familiar surroundings or not remembering the date or season are key warning signs. One of the early signs of dementia is becoming disoriented about time or place. This means you might lose track of the date, day of the week, or even the season. Sometimes, you may forget where you are or how you got there, even if it's a place you know very well, like your home or neighborhood. Have you ever walked into a room and suddenly forgotten why you came in? Or looked at a calendar and felt confused about the current date? Maybe you felt unsure of the time of day or how many days have passed since an event. Sometimes, people with early dementia get lost while walking or driving in familiar places, which can be frightening and dangerous. This confusion happens because dementia affects the parts of the brain responsible for understanding spatial information and tracking time. These changes make it difficult to remember sequences, recognize familiar environments, and keep track of time passing. While it's normal to occasionally lose track of time or get confused about dates, especially when busy, tired, or stressed, frequent episodes of disorientation that affect daily life are a warning sign. If you or a loved one often feels lost in familiar surroundings or can't remember important dates like birthdays, appointments, or holidays, it's important to take note. To help manage disorientation, try using large, clear calendars and clocks at home. Writing down daily schedules and important dates can also support memory. Sticking to familiar routines and routes reduces the chance of getting lost. When going out, carrying a phone or ID card with emergency contact information is a wise precaution. If disorientation becomes more frequent or severe, talking to a healthcare professional can help identify the cause and provide support. Early diagnosis allows for strategies that keep you safe and independent for longer. One of the early signs of dementia is having trouble understanding visual information, even when your eyesight is normal. This means that while your eyes may see clearly, your brain struggles to interpret or make sense of what you are seeing. This can affect your ability to judge distances, recognize objects, and understand spatial relationships between things around you. For example, you might find it difficult to read a map, follow directions, or navigate familiar routes. You could misjudge the distance when parking a car or reaching for a cup, leading to spills or accidents. Sometimes, faces of familiar people or common household objects may appear confusing or unfamiliar. This can be frustrating and even frightening because these are things you have seen many times before. The reason for this difficulty is that dementia affects the parts of the brain responsible for visual processing and spatial awareness. These areas help us understand shapes, colors, depth, and the position of objects relative to each other. When these brain functions are impaired, it becomes challenging to interpret visual information accurately. It is important to distinguish between problems caused by the eyes themselves, such as needing glasses or having cataracts, and those caused by the brain's difficulty in processing visual data. Regular eye checkups are essential to rule out eye problems, but if vision is normal and these difficulties persist, it could indicate dementia. Having trouble with visual information not only makes daily tasks harder but can also increase the risk of falls and injuries. For instance, difficulty judging stairs or uneven surfaces can lead to accidents. Therefore, making your living space safer by improving lighting, using contrasting colors on walls and furniture, and removing trip hazards is very important. If driving becomes unsafe due to difficulty with visual spatial tasks, it's wise to seek alternative transportation or ask family members for help. Don't ignore these signs, as early recognition can lead to strategies that help maintain independence and safety. If you or someone close to you experiences ongoing problems understanding visual information, it is crucial to consult a healthcare professional for a thorough evaluation. Early diagnosis can provide access to support, therapies, and adjustments that improve quality of life. Halfway through our list at number 5 is trouble speaking or writing. This includes struggling to find the right words or following and joining conversations. One of the early signs of dementia is having trouble speaking or writing clearly. This means you may find it increasingly difficult to find the right words during conversations or to express your thoughts accurately in writing. Sometimes, you might use incorrect words or pause frequently because you can't remember what you want to say, which can make communication frustrating. Have you noticed yourself searching for simple words more often than before? Maybe you repeat phrases or sentences, or lose track of your thoughts mid-conversation. You might find that your sentences don't flow smoothly, or that you struggle to understand complex conversations or instructions. These difficulties can make interacting with family, friends, and even strangers more challenging and stressful. Dementia affects the areas of the brain responsible for language and communication. This can lead to problems both in producing language, such as speaking and writing, and in understanding what others say. As a result, you might have trouble following along in group conversations or remembering the right words to respond. It's normal for anyone to occasionally forget words or lose train of thought, especially when tired or under stress. However, if these problems become frequent and start to interfere with daily communication, it may be a sign of dementia. These communication challenges can cause people to feel isolated or withdraw from social activities because they fear embarrassment or misunderstanding. To manage these difficulties, try speaking slowly and allow yourself extra time to find words. Writing down key points or practicing conversations ahead of time can also help. Don't hesitate to ask others to repeat or explain if you don't understand something. Using simple sentences and clear language can make communication easier for everyone. If you or a loved one notice persistent trouble with speaking or writing, it's important to seek advice from a healthcare professional. Early diagnosis can provide access to speech therapy, support groups, and other resources that help improve communication skills and maintain relationships. At number 4, misplacing items and being unable to retrace your steps can be a major indicator. It's more than just forgetfulness, it's losing track of things in unusual places. A common early sign of dementia is frequently misplacing everyday items and then being unable to retrace your steps to find them. You might put your keys in the fridge, leave your glasses in the bathroom, or even find your wallet in the freezer. These unusual places can be confusing and frustrating, especially when you can't remember how the items ended up there. Have you ever spent a long time searching for something important, only to realize it's somewhere unexpected? Maybe you have felt worried or accused others of taking your belongings because you couldn't recall where you left them. This experience can be very upsetting and can affect your confidence in your memory. Dementia affects the brain's ability to store and retrieve recent memories. This decline in memory function makes it harder to remember where you placed objects or the steps you took during the day. Because of this, retracing your steps, a helpful method many people use to find lost items, becomes more difficult or even impossible. While everyone misplaces things from time to time, frequent and repeated episodes of losing important items, combined with an inability to remember recent events or actions, can be a sign of early dementia. This often leads to feelings of frustration, confusion, and stress, not only for the person affected but also for their family and caregivers. To manage this, it helps to create a routine by designating specific places for important items like keys, glasses, and wallets. Always putting these items back in their designated spots can reduce the chance of misplacing them. Using labels, containers, or trays can further help keep things organized and easy to find. If you do lose something, try to stay calm and think carefully about your recent activities and locations. Writing down daily routines or using checklists may assist your memory. Don't hesitate to ask family members or friends for help when you can't find something important. If you or a loved one notices increasing difficulty with misplacing items and cannot retrace steps, it's important to seek medical advice. Early diagnosis can provide access to support, memory aids, and strategies that help maintain independence and reduce anxiety related to memory loss. Number 3 is poor judgment. This could mean making unusual decisions or showing less caution in everyday situations. Another important early sign of dementia is experiencing poor judgment or making decisions that seem unusual or out of character. You or a loved one might find it harder to assess situations correctly or make safe, practical choices in daily life. This can affect many areas, from managing money to personal care, and even simple tasks around the house. For example, have you noticed yourself or someone close to you making impulsive or unusual financial decisions? Maybe there have been sudden large purchases that don't make sense, or giving away money to strangers or unfamiliar organizations without understanding the consequences. Sometimes, poor judgment shows up as neglecting personal hygiene, skipping baths, not brushing teeth, or wearing inappropriate clothing for the weather. This decline happens because dementia affects parts of the brain responsible for reasoning, problem-solving, and decision-making. When these areas are damaged, the ability to weigh options, anticipate outcomes, and choose wisely is impaired. As a result, even everyday decisions can become confusing or risky. While everyone can make mistakes or poor decisions occasionally, especially when tired, stressed, or upset, frequent poor judgment that affects safety, finances, or well-being is a concern. For instance, leaving the stove on, forgetting to lock doors, or giving away money irresponsibly are signs that warrant attention. Supporting someone with poor judgment involves careful monitoring and gentle guidance. Simplifying daily choices and providing clear routines can reduce confusion and help prevent mistakes. Family members or caregivers may need to take over tasks like paying bills or managing finances to protect the individual from harm or financial loss. If you notice persistent poor judgment in yourself or a loved one, it's important to consult a healthcare professional. Early diagnosis opens the door to support services, financial planning, and safety measures that help maintain quality of life and independence for as long as possible. Coming in at number 2, withdrawal from work, hobbies, or social activities might happen because the person feels overwhelmed or confused. One of the subtle yet important early signs of dementia is withdrawing from work, hobbies, or social activities that once brought joy and satisfaction. You might notice yourself or a loved one gradually pulling away from social gatherings, stopping participation in favorite pastimes, or losing interest in activities that were once a regular part of life. Have you found yourself avoiding phone calls, canceling plans with friends, or feeling too overwhelmed to attend community events? Maybe hobbies like gardening, reading, knitting, or playing cards no longer seem appealing or have become too challenging to enjoy. Sometimes, this withdrawal happens because memory lapses or difficulty following conversations cause embarrassment or frustration. Dementia affects brain areas responsible for memory, attention, language, and executive function. These changes make it harder to keep up with conversations, remember details, or complete complex tasks, which can lead to anxiety and self-consciousness. Feeling overwhelmed or confused in social settings might cause a person to isolate themselves to avoid uncomfortable situations. While it is normal for anyone to need quiet time or breaks occasionally, frequent or prolonged withdrawal can be a sign of underlying cognitive decline. Unfortunately, social isolation can worsen dementia symptoms and negatively impact emotional health, leading to feelings of loneliness or depression. To help combat withdrawal, it's important to encourage gentle engagement in social activities and hobbies. This might mean simplifying activities, joining groups tailored for older adults, or participating in supportive environments where the person feels safe and understood. Family and friends can play a vital role by inviting and including loved ones in social events without pressure. If you or someone close to you shows signs of withdrawing from work, social life, or hobbies, consider discussing these changes with a healthcare professional. Early intervention and support can help maintain social connections, improve mood, and enhance overall quality of life. And finally, at number 1, mood and personality changes. You might notice increased anxiety, confusion, or even sudden mood swings that weren't there before. One of the most significant early signs of dementia involves noticeable changes in mood and personality. These changes can be surprising and difficult for both the individual experiencing them and their loved ones. You or someone close to you may begin to feel sudden shifts in emotions, such as becoming unusually anxious, irritable, sad, or withdrawn. These mood swings can happen frequently and without an obvious cause. Have you noticed feeling sad or anxious for no clear reason? Or has someone close to you seemed more easily upset over small things that wouldn't have bothered them before? Perhaps they have become more suspicious or fearful, even toward family members or friends they have known for years. Sometimes, a person with dementia may lose interest in activities and hobbies that once brought them joy, or they might become quiet, passive, or less engaged with their surroundings. These emotional and personality changes occur because dementia affects areas of the brain responsible for regulating mood, behavior, and emotional responses. Damage to these brain regions can make it difficult to control feelings, respond appropriately to everyday situations, or manage stress and frustration. This can result in increased irritability, confusion, or even outbursts of anger. It is important to understand that these mood and personality changes are symptoms of the disease, not intentional behaviors. People experiencing these changes need patience, empathy, and support from family members and caregivers. Creating a calm, safe environment and offering reassurance can help reduce anxiety and frustration. If you or a loved one notices significant mood changes, seeking advice from a healthcare professional is essential. Sometimes, these symptoms can be treated or managed with medication, therapy, or lifestyle adjustments as part of a comprehensive dementia care plan. Early recognition and intervention can improve emotional well-being, reduce caregiver stress, and enhance the quality of life for everyone involved. Remember, mood and personality changes can be among the most challenging aspects of dementia, but with understanding and proper support, they can be managed effectively. Thank you for watching today's video on the top 10 early signs of dementia with Silvercare Daily. We hope this information has helped you better understand the warning signs not to ignore, so you can take proactive steps to care for yourself and your loved ones. Remember, early detection is the key to reducing the impact of dementia and improving quality of life. If you found this video helpful, please don't forget to like and share it so your friends and family can benefit from these valuable insights. And be sure to subscribe to Silvercare Daily so you won't miss our upcoming videos covering many more useful topics for senior health. Feel free to leave your comments below to share your stories or questions. We're here to support you on your journey to better brain health. Remember, you are not alone. Together, we can overcome challenges and maintain a positive spirit to live well every day. Thanks again, and see you in the next Silvercare Daily video.